In hindsight, in these situations, you can think about like, oh wow, you're in the middle of an adventure here, but when you're in these moments, you're not thinking, wow, this will be a fun story to tell someday. You're like, nah, man, I don't want this to be happening to me right now. Oh, what's up, neighbor? How's it going? Oh yeah, nice. Me? You know, same old, pretty much. Just crossed 40,000 miles on this thing. Yeah, I can't believe it either. Been pretty lucky. I mean, minus that one trip to Mexico, you know? Did I ever tell you that? You good? You want some water? Let me take these things off. Nah? All right, well, let me know if you want anything. Where were we? Yeah. Mexico. I'm not really a surfer, but a buddy of mine had invited me to join him on a little camping trip. And so I was like, yeah, man, I'll try to do a little bit of surfing, hang out, you know, just a little bit past CJ. Sounds awesome. So after a shoot, hopped on my motorcycle and rode the whole way down from LA to just past Tijuana. It was a really cool ride. One of the longer rides I've done on my Rebel 500. It was a good time. We hung out. We went out to a restaurant, and I want to say it was like Puerto Nuevo. Had a great meal. Everything was kind of going smoothly until the morning. The campsite was on a cliff, so there were these bluffs overlooking the ocean. It was beautiful. I left my tent unzipped and I fell asleep. I wasn't even really using a sleeping bag. I just had like a leather jacket, not unlike this one here, that I had like wrapped around me, and fell asleep with the zipper of my tent open, just looking out the door of the waves of the ocean. And I thought that would be a beautiful way to wake up in the morning, to just wake up and my first sight would be the cliffs and the water and the Pacific. And to be fair, that's pretty much how I woke up. I woke up at like 5 in the morning and it was freezing, it was cold. And I think that's what had woken me up. I was like chilled. I was looking around and sort of out of it. And then I was like, wait a minute, kind of piecing it together. What, didn't I have a blanket last night? I had my jacket. Where's my jacket? I started looking around the tent everywhere. There's only a few places it could be. I'm looking around, I'm not seeing it, and I look outside. Oh my God. I mean, it hits me pretty quickly. Someone stole my jacket, man. I'm a little freaked out, you know. I start looking around, I poke out of the tent, look at our campsite. Nobody's really awake in the general campsite. It's still really early. Knock on my buddy's camper door and I'm like, hey, Josh, dude, I think we've been robbed. And he's like, I start to hear other people waking up and they're also noticing that their stuff is missing. There's just like a growing fervor, commotion throughout the different campsites and neighboring people realizing they're missing stuff. And my buddy Josh comes out and he's looking around, he realizes like the French press is gone, and I walk to the local restaurant bar and I connect to the Wi-Fi and I basically just put a blast out to everyone I know, and I'm like, well, here's the situation, and does anybody know anybody that can help, or know anybody that can help? And sure enough, within like 15-20 minutes I had been connected with somebody, this guy named Cruz, who was a connection to a connection to a connection. And he was like, I'll meet you in an hour or two. And so I was feeling a bit better just like that, you know? The miracle of global connectivity, right? So yeah, it didn't take long, and this guy Cruz, his little brother, and his kid were out there helping me out. We loaded my bike onto the trailer and I was off to try to figure this stuff out. I'll never forget looking out the window, just checking out the ocean, and then looking back at my motorcycle on the trailer. Got to at least enjoy a beautiful view of the ocean while driving out to Tijuana. In hindsight, in these situations, you can think about like, oh wow, you're in the middle of an adventure here, but when you're in these moments, you're not thinking, wow, this will be a fun story to tell someday. You're like, nah, man, this sucks. I don't want this to be happening to me right now. So, adventures are more interesting to read about than to live it through or whatever, you know? It was Memorial Day weekend, so of course, all the locksmiths are closed. We ended up parking somewhere off of like a main boulevard while this guy tried to file a key to make it work. I'm just sitting on the side of the road and just chowing down. The next thing I know, I hear hammering, and I walk across the street and I see this guy hammering on my bike, and he's hammering off the fork lock, which keeps it from moving. And I'm like, nah, man, what are you doing? No. He's just like, with that last hit, fork lock comes off. I'm actually not exactly stoked. I'm like, hey man, like, you know, I just wanted to get back across the border, you know, like I was just like, dude, I'm just trying to pay you some cash so that you can help me get across the border, either by like getting a key or something made, or, you know, just trailering me across. This is like destructive at this point, you know, like, I get we're not going to be able to find like a locksmith right now. Do you mind? Can we just trailer it and cross the border? You know, like, can we just deal with it there? You know? And he's like, cool, yeah, for sure. It was a little too late for my fork lock. We get back in the car and we head back out. Again, I'm headed to another place I've never been, and I don't know where I'm going. Cruise has got this really cool Jeep, this killer sound system with blasting music. The tunes are just like rattling the windows. And as we're cruising through these little streets, everyone's looking. And I mean, everyone. It was a cool vibe, man. It was a cool vibe. And we make it out to one of his cousins' houses, and all of his cousins come out. They're all really nice. And like 8 of these dudes just like pick up my motorcycle like it's nothing. And they lift it up out of the trailer and they put it on the back of this pickup truck. Cruz and I, we head off. And crossing the border takes a couple of hours. And we're just kind of hanging, talking, listening to music. So we're at the border, we're waiting in line, finally about to cross back over. And I see this guy with no legs being chased by a chihuahua, man. There are times when things come into perspective and I realize that things could be worse, obviously, right? All things considered, I was pretty happy with my life at the time. I got to the border and I thought there would be some kind of issue because I didn't have my ID, I didn't have my passport, I didn't have a key, proof to the motorcycle or anything. Border Patrol asked me what my deal was, why I didn't have any of that information. I told him what happened, and he just said, that's why I don't go to Mexico. And he let me on through. Yeah. We crossed back over after like midnight. He dropped me off. That's actually the second time I got robbed in Mexico. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to chat your ear off. Thanks for coming through. It was nice hanging out with you, and you know, don't be a stranger. See you later.